Hello again, everybody. Well, after a very lengthy drive from Chattanooga, we are down at Cathedral Caverns State Park in Alabama. We're going to be checking out an interesting cave called Cathedral Caverns. So, come on, let's go take a look and see what we can see, shall we? We're going to have some fun today. Well,
in a quarter mile, turn left.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is an interesting little tour because we are out in the middle of nowhere. Still, it'll be worth it to see the caverns, so we'll get there momentarily. Well, we made it. And yes, this cave does cost money to get into, but it is still worth it. Looks like we've got an interesting, some kind of thingamabobber. Hey, in the comments below, does anybody know what that is? I may get a chance to go look at it later, but we will take a look. But the more important thing is, we are going over to the big visitor center. This is actually a cool little place. They're saying it's handicapped accessible. I'll see when we get in here. So, come on, guys, let's go take a look. Well, independently of a neat little picnic area and a decent amount of parking, I do believe I have found the cave. Now, they do say that there is a golf cart, and we shall see what we shall see. Well, one of his fingers appears to have come off. We're going to go in here since it's a little cold and we've got to wait. One of the interesting things is the tours are on specific times. You really ought to go take a look at the schedule during the year because it's different from winter to summer. So let's go take a look inside the building, shall we? The world's greatest underground spectacle. Huh, look at that. J. Gurley era. What's pretty cool in this is an amazing looking welcome center building kind of thing. I apologize for the reflections. There's not really a lot I can do. Haven't even seen the cave yet. This is a beautiful and great welcome center. Alabama seems to really be paying attention about having their welcome center do their thing. While it is the winter time and this is shut down, you can't have a place like this without some gemstone mining. And of course, every gift shop, you gotta have a bunch of the stones and a bunch of the interesting stuff, although those cups look pretty cool. You got necklaces. Really cool, big stuffed animals. This is actually a pretty cool gift store. So, it's definitely worth checking out. Coincidentally, is anybody getting a Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom vibe here? Because I sure am. Veritable rainbow. Okay, so we're going to be doing this a little backwards. Right, we are going to be riding the this is pretty neat. This kind of reminds me of Mammoth Caves up in Kentucky.
I don't mean to be nosy. I do like to know where everybody comes from. I think it's pretty neat how, since I've had this job, I've met people from all over the U.S. and all over the world. I've met people from Singapore, China, Japan, Netherlands, Denmark, France, Germany, Canada, Mexico, and that's just to name a few, okay? I've met people from countries that I really didn't know was a country until they told me what it was, okay? But that does bring me to my next point. I've learned, and I've tried to manage it, but it's very hard to. The accent and the way I talk is pretty southern, okay? You'll be able to understand it, but some of you guys may not, okay? Fair warning, you can ask me to try to pronounce my words a little bit better, but I can't make any promises, okay? But we're going to go through, it's about a 1.5 mile round trip. It's going to take us around an hour and a half. We can get back to the back about an hour, and just however long it takes you guys to get back out of here. If you walk from the back all the way to the beginning non-stop, it takes about 15 minutes. But you guys can go at your own pace. I'm not rushing you guys out of here at all. Take as long as you need to coming back out of here. Okay? Take as many pictures you guys would like to. I ask that you keep a steady pace with us as we're going through on the tour, because we don't want people coming in behind us and it just being a big cluster in here and stuff like that. Okay, so we're gonna try to keep a steady pace, but like I said, on the way back out, you guys can go at your own pace and take as long as you need to. It was originally founded by the Native Americans. They was the ones that came in here and basically used it to get out of the weather and stuff like that. It wasn't founded and opened commercially, I guess, until 1952. So it took them a while to actually find this cave and open it up for tourists and stuff like that. And don't worry, I know a lot of you heard that the cave is warmer inside and don't feel like it right here, but it does get warmer past the second room, okay? We're gonna go through the gates back there, go into the second room, stop there for a little while and talk about some stuff, and we'll go through a tunnel. That temperature change is almost immediate, okay? Until about 1952, that's when a guy named Jacob Gurley got it. He got, him and his couple buddies were just down here curious one day, started exploring the cave. The state came in and they were the ones that took it over in 1987. They came in here, they're the ones that put in all the cement pathways and stuff like that. Brought in some people from the University of Alabama and Jacksonville State University. They came in here, did a whole bunch of testing through here, like, you know, tested the radon and stuff like that, tested the oxygen levels for it could be opened as a state park. They closed down for 13 years so they could do all the construction and testing in here. Finally opened it again in 2000. Everybody come check you out.
It's cement. It's cement.
Yeah, well, the state made that up.
This a fallout shelter. That's what they did. They said they can fit about 10,000 people in here, and they put several cans in here for the shelter. They're not here anymore, but you can see we kept one back, for example. As you can see, we only got, you know, one in here today. That's because one of our tour guides got curious one day. We had two, and one of our tour guides opened up the other one, had crackers, peanut butter, and Spam, and that was it.
Yeah.
Welcome to Jurassic Park. There's a river down there. And while it does not look like it on the camera, folks, it's like a good 30, 40 feet. A good 20 foot plus to the ceiling.
Yeah, a little bit more.
I apologize, I don't have my good flashlight, but this is a giant room. It's an awful lot like
yeah.
the the caverns up in Kentucky, Mammoth Caves.
The cave, okay? Mr. Gurley experimented taking tours back through there. He did it for a couple months, maybe. He ended up just getting some very negative feedback in there, okay? Because it's not a very good pathway. I've been in there once before, and I'm telling you, I'm never going back. You go down these rocks, you go down a mudslide, it's pretty steep. It's about, that incline right there. And you get on your hands and knees and go through the tunnel that's down there. And if you're lucky enough, like it is now, the water's just a little bit low, and you don't have to worry about getting wet. You may get muddy, but you won't get wet. Most of the time, you do have to go through some water to get through the other side. And when you do get to the other side, there's the one place that you can stand completely up, and that's the place where you got to climb all the way out of a little hole and get you to the other side of the cave. Okay, so it's not a very easy pathway. Not everybody can do it. Okay, so Mr. Gurley ended up just not taking people back in there. And there was also one of the big reasons was he stopped doing it because the river down there is actually subject to flooding. Okay, so not only is it a rough pathway, it's very dangerous too. So what would happen is you'd be on the other side of the cave, and if you're not careful enough, you can get stuck in here. Okay, you can't hear outside if it's raining or not, so you really wouldn't know. Mr. Gurley sometimes is on the other side, hanging some lights and working on the pathway or things like that. He'd come back, he'd be stuck in here for 2 days sometimes, just waiting for the water to drain back out so he can climb back out of here. Right up here above you. Y'all see that black dot right there?
Yeah,
Y'all know what that is?
a bug.
A bat.
That's pretty good guesses, but that's not right. That's a shark's tooth.
No way.
Have you been here before? Yes, sir. You cheated. That is a shark's tooth. He is right, guys. That's a pre-megalodon shark tooth. That's one of 11 that was found in here. This is the one that you can clearly see from the pathway, so it's the only one that we'll point out today. Now, if you look right over here, this little line of rock going through right here, that basically was the same thing as a shark's tooth, but it was sponge, okay? But it kind of got stuck in there the same way. This is what they believe the Native Americans were actually in here after when they came in here about 8,000 years ago. They came in here with chip off pieces of it, used it for their arrowheads and spear points, other tools they might need. We had some of those same guys from, the universities come in here and do all that testing, and they told us these chert nodules are about as strong gas, 2 inches thick as steel. Okay. They also told us we'll stay at the same level of elevation throughout the cave. We'll see that later on. A couple more rooms we'll go into today, and it runs on both sides of the cave. Through. I stopped you right here because Mr. Gurley forgot about one thing when he blasted through, okay? He was only about 5'6" himself, so he really didn't take tall people into consideration. You see that rock dripping down right there? Heard that rock been called many different names, okay? Most of them not so pretty. So as you consider yourself just a little bit taller than I am, you might want to watch your heads. We got everybody with us back there. All right, good deal. Who are you talking to? Alright guys, now if you want to walk on your hands and knees through the original tunnel that you have to go through to get to this side of the cave, right over there on the other side of that boulder is where you come out. Okay? You come out right over there and you can see the back side of this huge formation right here in front of us. Okay? And that's the first thing that Gurley saw. Okay? So if I had to guess, that's probably what made him buy the cave. And if I was just guessing. But he named it Goliath. Goliath is actually a world record. That's the largest stalagmite column that you're going to see in a commercial cave today. Okay? Basically, just what happened was a stalactite and a stalagmite just grew together over time to form one big formation. Okay? And you can actually see right here on the side of it, you see that white stuff on the side right there? That's what's making it still grow. Now, do you see that big crack right there on the side of it? That was caused by the earthquake that hit in 1812. It measured about a 7.2 on the Richter scale when it trickled on down through here. It originated in Missouri. When it hit here, it caused 3 major cracks within this cave, and right there's the first one.
So that big crack is what he was talking about.
Let's see, about 2 or 3 rooms from there.
That was a way. And across the way was the original pathway.
We don't know.
How tall is this cave? From
Average, the average room is about 45 feet tall.
okay.
Our largest room in here is 126 feet tall.
I thought this one was like 125.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's some in here that's about 20 feet tall. So
Okay.
it just ranges, about average 45 though. Like I said, this river can flood and it can flood pretty bad, okay? For example, a couple of years ago, on Christmas Day, we got about 10 inches in 2 hours, okay? It's been raining for about 2 days straight, but the 10 inches is what did it. Right here at this spot, y'all would be about knee deep in water. And that's happened 3 or 4 times since the state opened it in 2000. That pathway's actually flooded. That's the original pathway right over there. So that's what you go on if you came on tour of Mr. Gurley after you blasted out the tunnel we just walked through, okay? That pathway is about 18 inches wide at its widest point, and even smaller than that in some places, okay?
It's very ironic that I'm riding in a golf cart across a bridge in a cave. So the hissing noise that you hear is the water going down the stones.
Put it in simple terms, the way it's made, with all of this right here in front of you at one point in time, this looked like there was double rock right there above it, okay? What happened was the water source was back there, but the cave started flowing over those rocks and broke them down. Eventually, it just started carrying the calcite over and just making a smooth surface right there. And when that earthquake did hit, it caused the second major crack that runs along through here. You can see Mr. Gurley tried to patch it up in mud and cement, realized it really didn't look too good, so he put it out back on it.
That is impressive. Most impressive. Now guys, the camera really can't show this, but the lighting in here is showing a lot more of the cave than the camera is actually showing. You're just going to have to come here yourself and check this place out. It's pretty impressive. I'd say this is the tallest room.
Yeah, this is that 126 feet tall room.
Wow. That's another beautiful amount of flowstone.
Alright guys, this here is just another one of those flowstone walls. Same thing as the frozen waterfall that we just saw. Except this time, instead of it being created by a smooth, constant water flow, this was created by just single water droplets over time, okay? Just dripping down, carrying the calcite with it and stuff like that. And they just made this more of a rough look to it instead of that smooth look that you got at the waterfall.
Is that natural that way?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, this is the pretty part of the cave. Alright, watch your heads going up through here, kind of a tight squeeze. He had quit his job, he was all excited about the whole ordeal, but there was one person that was not, okay, that was his wife. Okay, she was actually pretty mad at him. All she saw of this was just a big hole in the ground and a big waste of time, okay, so she wasn't very excited about it, but finally, on their 10th anniversary, she kind of changed her mind a little bit. She did not go in the cave at all, but like I said, on her 10th anniversary, she decided to come down here and come to the cave with her as an anniversary present. Okay, she got down here in this room specifically, started looking around, and I have a pretty good feeling she changed her mind.
Yeah, it's like a cathedral.
They Be careful. You go in, but you can't come back out. That's the rules. Huck was a Disney film back in 95, 96, I want to say. They actually came right here to this spot and filmed the cave scenes right here. If you did see the movie, remember that scene where Injun Joe was chasing Tom and Becky through here and they jumped through that formation to hide from him? This is exactly where it's filmed. And that little crack that you see right through there is a third major crack that was caused in this cave by that earthquake in 1912. Laying at his feet.
Hey, look at that. That does look like a jug, don't it?
That rock looks like a
That's amazing.
Yeah. What we're about to go through is the second man-made tunnel that was put in here. This was put in by Mr. Gurley. Instead of dynamite, he actually used a pickaxe to go through this one, okay? So it's just a little bit smaller than the other one that we went through. So again, watch you guys' heads.
Cave bacon.
I'll be right back.
Some of these that are further off, like that one, appear to be about 13 to 20 feet tall. I don't know how they got that tall, and they're that small. Too bad I didn't think about this before. Now this is the night shot feature, but at least it's showing more than
As y'all can see, we've made it halfway. We walked about 3/4 of a mile, but as you from the beginning to the end is about 2 miles long. There is 2 more rooms back there. There's another stalagmite forest. You can kind of see the beginning of it right there. It's just like the one we just went through, except that one right there is about a mile long, okay? When you get to the end of that room, you'll crawl through a hole a little bit bigger than a 5-gallon bucket. It's about 6 to 7 feet long, and you get into that hole and you'll come to our crystal room. If you guys remember the white calcite that I showed you guys on the side of the light. I'm not abandoning the golf cart right here, sir. I'm gonna run up here and turn the lights back on.
Oh, that's fine. It's almost like the back of a dinosaur.
It looked like something else.
That was a tight fit.
It's a cathedral of the gods, it is. One last look.
So how many tours do you guys do here in the summertime?
In the summertime, we schedule 7 tours. 7 tours a day. Some of our busy days, we'll do about 10, maybe just extra tours and stuff like that.
One last look at the beautiful glowstone wall. We are at the top of the frozen waterfall. And hundreds of feet away is the other side of the cave. That's called Goliath, correct?
Yes, sir.
Once again, we come to the end.
But where is it really?
So here's the room. It's past the end of the tour. And you have to crawl through a really teeny hole.
Yeah, they said we're gonna go ahead and buy tickets for these people. They're about to be here.
It's
But I
freezing
don't
out there.
I don't know. Like I said, from now.
Well, guys, that's all there is. Hope you enjoyed coming along on the little journey to the Cathedral Caverns in Alabama. Well, I'm off to go on some more journeys. So until then, why don't you go on some journeys of your own? We'll see you next time.